So what does it mean to be all in? This is terminology that we hear pretty often, right? Players all the time say, I'm all in, whatever it takes, no matter what, I am all in. And as a coach working with a lot of players over a lot of years, I've heard this over and over and over. And almost every time that I hear this, when we dig a little bit deeper, I realize that this player is not even close to being all in. And it's not their fault. It's just simply that they don't understand what all in actually is. And for much of my life, I didn't understand either. When I finally realized what going all in actually means, it was like a lightning bolt struck my mind. It changed everything. It was so profound to finally understand what it means that I have to share this with you, because going all in is, make no mistake, this is a master level move. And frankly, it's terrifying. This is one of the scariest things that you will ever do in your life, to fully go all in on something. But when you do it, magic happens. Magic happens. So we're going to discuss exactly what this means and hopefully give you that profound realization for yourself. I want to start off with a few examples that are going to show you what really going all in actually means. And we'll start off with the most popular one that I'm sure you've heard before, right? We'll start off light. So you've probably heard the story of Alexander the Great arriving on the shores of Persia. And when his army arrived on the shores of Persia, he actually burned the boats behind them so that there was no retreat. They had no choice but to go all in and conquer Persia. Otherwise, they would die. Like, there was no way to get home. They couldn't retreat and go back to the boats. They had to keep on fighting all the way through. That's the most popular example of what it means to really go all in, like burn all the boats. There is no surrender, no retreat. I want to give a few more that maybe you haven't heard before. So one of my favorites is actually from Elon Musk. And this is a real life example of what it means. I think the most dramatic example of an entrepreneur going all in that I've heard. So Elon actually was one of the founders of PayPal. And when he sold PayPal finally, he sold it for $180 million. And I want to read a quote from Elon directly. He said, "My proceeds from PayPal, from the PayPal acquisition, were $180 million. I put $100 million into SpaceX, $70 million into Tesla, and $10 million into SolarCity. I had to borrow money for rent." So in other words, instead of building up a nest egg and keeping some of the money for himself for safety, for financial security, like almost every other human being throughout all of history would have done, Elon put all his chips on the table and went all in on ventures that, get this is the critical point, ventures that he didn't even think would succeed. The reason he put all of his own money into it, if you read back, there's a biography, Elon Musk, by Ashley Vance, that's really good. If you read back, Elon says that he put all of his own money into it because he didn't want to risk other people's money on ventures that were so unlikely to succeed that nobody else would even do them. Think about building reusable rockets and taking humanity to Mars. That is a really, really long shot venture. Building a brand new car company, one of the most competitive industries in the world, and not only building a new car company, but building a luxury electric car, which had never been done before. That is, again, a huge long shot. And transitioning into solar power, that's not as much of a long shot as the others, but these are ventures that were, by every stretch of the imagination, incredibly unlikely to succeed. He didn't even think that they would survive, but he still put all of his own money in because the conviction behind them, to him, these had to happen. We have to put humanity on Mars. We have to transition to solar energy. We have to get off of gas cars and into electric cars. To Elon, these were the most important things in the world. So he put all his chips on the table and went all in and had to borrow money for rent. That's what it means to go all in. And I have one more, even more extreme example for you, believe it or not. So recently, I came upon this documentary on YouTube that I highly suggest watching. And I don't remember the exact name of it. It's something like The Terrifying Art of Free Solo Slacklining. If you type that in, you'll find it. Do that after this talk. But essentially, slacklining is when they take a they call it a line. It's not quite a rope. You imagine like tightrope walking. It's not quite tightrope walking. It's more of a line with a flat surface, but it's about that wide. And they will anchor one end of the line on one cliff and another end on the other cliff, and they will walk out between it. And most people will wear a harness and they'll strap themselves in. So there's actually very minimal danger. Like a lot of people fall all the time and they're caught by the line and they climb back up and they keep on walking. And so it's more of a daredevil extreme sport. And there's this huge community of people who do this out in British Columbia and Canada. And it's very, very popular. People get a big rush from doing this. However, a few rare individuals do what they call free soloing. So they take off the harness. And when I was watching the documentary, I started audibly, like out loud said, no, he's not doing that. No way. I'm like white knuckling my couch thinking like, I cannot believe he's doing this. Hundreds of feet in the air. And I can't remember what the world record was. It was something like 600 meters, if I'm not mistaken. I might be unclear on that. But a long line that he has to walk. Takes off the harness and he walks it free solo. Nothing strapping him in. He walks across this line. Like if he falls, he dies, essentially. And he broke the world record doing this. That is going all in. Taking the harness off, burning the boats, putting all your cash on the table for the thing that you love. In other words, what it means to go all in is nothing less than giving everything you have. Everything. Okay? That's a profound idea. That's a really profound idea. It means there is nothing you won't do. There is no pain you won't endure. You would do it if you never got any recognition. You would do it for free for the rest of your life. Even if you never made money at it, it means that you would do it if it took the rest of your life. You mean it would do it. You would do it even if you failed. Remember, Elon did this fully expecting all of those ventures to fail, which they haven't, of course, because of the magic of going all in. But he expected them to fail. You would go all in for the thing that you love, even if it meant that you failed. And the analogy that I want to offer you here is the difference between really caring about something and going all in is the difference between like a friend backing you up in a fight and a mother protecting her child with her life. The friend backing you up in a fight, if that other person pulls a gun, like he's running, right? And you should run too. But that friend is out of there. There's a condition on that. Like, hey, I want to back you up. But like, if my life is threatened, The mother stands in front of her child, like arms outstretched, and says, you will not harm my child. I will die before I let you harm my child. She will take a bullet. Okay. That is going all in. That is really, really profound. And when I say that most players, when they say that they're all in, aren't even close, I really mean it. This is the difference between the player who goes to the gym, finds out that it's locked, and decides that they're going to do the workout the next day, right? They take the rest of the day off because the gym's locked. There's nowhere to train. And the player who's all in, who goes to the nearest outdoor court and trains outside in the rain or the snow to make sure that they get it done. That is going all in. This is the difference between the player who shies away from taking the game-winning shot because, like, yeah, maybe they'll make it, but what if they miss? And what if everybody gets angry with them? What kind of embarrassment will they feel? And the player who says, yeah, there's a big risk here, but I'm all in. There's a big risk, but I'm all in, and takes that shot, make or miss. That's going all in. When you are on the court and you're playing a little bit hesitant and passive because you don't want to upset anybody. You don't want to make your teammates mad because you're shooting too much. You don't want to make a mistake and make your coach upset. And so you're kind of just like shying away a little bit, fading just enough into the background so that the spotlight's not on you and the pressure's not on you. It's the difference between the player who does that and the player who puts all of himself on the line. Like whether he gets embarrassed, whether he gets yelled at, whether there's conflict with a teammate, whether it doesn't matter, whether the entire crowd begins to boo him because he's missed 3 shots in a row. And like, if the whole world is crashing down, he's still standing up tall and saying, I will risk everything for this. Okay. And that's not an invitation to play selfishly and push your, force the matter or anything like that. This is a philosophical, like fundamental philosophy to approach your game with. So if you're shying away or being hesitant or passive out of fear, it's simply feeling the fear anyway, or feeling the fear and doing the thing anyway, even in the face of that fear, because you're all in. You see, the mother in front of the child is still afraid. You can like be sure she's terrified, but she's all in. She's not stepping out of the way. She's not allowing her child to be harmed. That's going all in. Imagine you are in the gym and there's a coach or a scout on the other side of the gym, and you want to go and make a connection with them. And you think, this is a big opportunity. This is a school that I may want to play for in university someday. I want to like connect with this coach. But what if he rejects me? What if he doesn't pay attention to me? I feel a little bit shy. I feel a little bit nervous and hesitant. I don't know. Maybe I'll just like wait for a letter to come in the mail from that school. I'll wait for them to reach out. The player who's all in the face of their fear and shyness and nervousness, goes over to that coach and makes the connection, even in the face of rejection. Doesn't matter. They go all in. All right. This is what this means. And you can see, hopefully, that this means giving everything you have. It's not putting all of your chips on the table. It's going into your pocket and taking out your last quarter that you were going to use for the payphone to call a ride home if you lose all of your money. It's putting that last quarter in there, burning every single last boat, not even having like a little canoe to try to escape off of the shore. If the rest of the army falls, it's like burning that canoe too and charging forwards anyway. That is going all in. So hopefully you can see why this is so scary, right? Because what happens if you go all in and you fail? What happens? And the best example of this is in love relationships, actually. And the difference between romantic love and unconditional love is a really big one, right? Because let's see it. If you're in a relationship with somebody, and you say, like, I love you no matter what. I love you no matter what. And that person cheats on you. That love is going to be tested really fast. And most people in that situation would leave. Like, no judgment here, okay? I would probably fall into that camp too. However, if there's anything that would cause you to leave and not be in that relationship anymore, then that's a condition that you're placing on the love. Unconditional love means there are literally no conditions. There are no conditions. So that is the mother to the child. The child may make the mother upset. They might make a mess. They might not clean their room. They might act out in different ways. And the mother might be like upset with them, but the love remains, and that mother remains by their child's side throughout all of the messiness, throughout all of the conflict and challenge. There is nothing that will make that mother leave. That's a big difference between romantic love and unconditional love. And one is all in. One is almost all the way in, but there's still that big if. If you do this, I'm out of here. If you don't change this about yourself, I don't know if I want to be with you, but I really love you, That's like maybe you're 80%, 90% of the way in. Going all in means going 100% of the way. All the chips on the table plus your very last quarter. Like, you can't call a payphone or call a cab for a ride home using the payphone afterwards. Like, all of everything you've got is on the table. That's what it takes. And there is a teacher of mine who put it this way. He said, true love doesn't take a lot. It takes everything. Hey, it's Taylor. I hope you enjoyed this clip. And if you'd like to watch the full-length talk, we'll have the title and/or link for you in the description so that you can check it out there. And as always, if you'd like to go even deeper, the best place to do that is in our free masterclass over at deepgame.com, which I believe will be the most powerful hour of basketball learning of your life. I hope we see you there.